What's happening, guys? It's Thomas here. I hope you're doing great. Today we're going to check out the Celestion Speaker Shaper by the guys at Softtube. This could literally save me and probably you hours and hours and hours a month, because if you're anything like me and you have thousands of IRs on your hard drive, you know what I'm talking about. I have a desktop and IR folders are just everywhere. This plugin could change all of that, as we can go through tons of speakers, tons of mics, place them virtually wherever we like, and there's some amazing other features as well. So naturally, I'm very excited to check this one out. Before we dive into the plugin, if you feel like your riffs and songs are not quite as exciting as what they could be, then check out the latest lesson on schoolofmcrock.com. What if I told you that there was just one thing that you could do in your playing that would push your riffs and songwriting not even to the next level? It would blow the roof off your songwriting ability. Let me tell you, it's the transitions between riffs. There's nothing that drives me more insane than hearing a demo or a track or a song and it's literally chords from a verse into chords from the chorus into a middle eight and so on. It's just copy paste, copy paste. We need transitions between those sections that really bring the song alive. But it can be trickier than what you would imagine. You know, do you play one note per string, two note per string? Do you play three note per string? Do you do riffs? What do you do between those sections? How do you go about doing it? So this is the theme of today's lesson, transitioning between a part of a riff and another part of a riff, or a verse to a chorus, and so on and so forth. And on today's lesson, I've got 3 different examples using one note per string, which is absolutely sounds fantastic, but it's actually not too difficult. And then I've got a wild 3 note per string pattern to show you. And then we're going to push it to the limits and really extend the interval jumps with a 2 note per string pattern. And there's a nice little hack in that one as well, which allows you to play it way faster with less effort. And I love that. All right, so grab that axe, download the drum beat, and I'll see you on the inside. Let's go. All right, I've been playing with this thing for a couple of hours or so, and so far I'm really digging it. It's the Celestion Speaker Shaper by the guys at Softtube. Today we're going to use 3 different sound sources. The first tone I'm using, this one here in fact. That's my Shred Club gain sound from the YouTube live streams, and that is from the Quad Cortex. Now the only difference is on my Shred Club main gain sound, I've disabled the IR, so the speaker sim is turned off inside of the Quad Cortex, and thus the Celestion Speaker Shaper is taking its place. The next sound that we have is my Shred Club main clean sound. And again, that is the same sound that I use for the streams, except the IR inside of the Quad Cortex is disabled. But I wanted to give you guys a different spin on this as well. So I've also fired up my tube amp, the Victory Sheriff 22, and I've got that thing absolutely crank. In fact, let's have a little listen to how that sounds. Now I also have an Apex preamp by Horizon Devices on that signal chain, which we can turn off. Let's go back to that first sound so we can jump inside of the door, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing with the Celestion Speaker Shaper by the guys at Softtube. Let's spin over there. So here we are inside of Ableton. We're back on that first heavy gain sound. And basically, as I mentioned, the IO's disable inside of the quad cortex. So that means this guy is doing the speaker simulation. If we turn that off, I don't want to play too loud. Oh, it's that typical nasty, where's my speaker gone sort of sound, all right? So we're gonna make sure we turn that back on. What I've done here is I've actually blended a couple of speakers together. I've also used a 2x15 with a 4x12 to just kind of really give it a sort of massive sound. So what we'll do is we'll focus on just the sound of the 4x12, and that way when I'm going through the settings, you can hear exactly what the settings are doing, as opposed to having two cabs running simultaneously and I'm only affecting one cab. Yeah, so that probably is the best. But it's really cool that you can run two complete cabs at once with a huge plethora of mics on those with different settings. Really, really cool. And if you like anything like me, where you have thousands of IRs on your hard drive and stuff, and you'd spend hours just kind of auditioning through these IRs, this is really cool because you can kind of just tweak a sound as your taste changes over months and years. On the bottom left here, I guess this is probably your starting point. You know, you're going to choose how many speakers you have in your cab. I have always used 4x12s, but for like clean tones, a 1x12 or 2x12 can be absolutely great for that. 6x12, let's go all out, get an 8x12. That's what we need, a wall of 8x12s behind us. Yeah, that would be good. I've always used closed back cabs, but you know, you have that option of just turning on open back. But I've always liked the tightness, especially for gain sounds of closed back cabs. So you can totally geek out with this plugin and choose like the type of magnets that's in the speakers, which is pretty cool, you know? I mean, we're all geeks here, so we'll probably geek out with this stuff. I think it was actually on the top one, but now I kind of prefer that second one. For me, I never touch any EQ until I've really dialed in my speaker sim or IR. And traditionally that means auditioning lots of IRs or going to your favorites. But if you want to change or deviate away from your favorites, man, you're going to be like doing what I do and just like 1, 2, 3, 900. It just goes on and on, right? It's never ending. Oh, the internal boost. Right, that's pretty cool. I can feel it adding more kind of low end heft to the sound. I'm gonna turn it back off now. The next thing is this is such a cool feature. A new speaker or a run-in. I like that. Almost as much as my phone does. It's trying to dial through. For that sort of chugs and stuff like that, I think the new speaker is the way to go. And then we can actually put speaker distortion on, which is a really cool way of kind of rounding out some of the top end frequencies and stuff. Not too much of that because it will kind of lose that kind of power and impact, and it's a kind of distortion that I think might be better for like lower gain sounds. With this type of distort sound, we want that tight, articulate, punchy, killer sound. The next thing is we can choose between 16 ohms and 8 ohms. I think 8 ohms. When I've used speakers in real life, I actually don't really use them these days, but I've always went with 8 ohm cabs, so there we go. So you can see right here, I have a bunch of mics on this speaker. We've got like 7Bs, 47s, which I'm guessing is like a vintage Neumann, and then a ribbon mic, a 1-to-1, classic mics. So we can mute all of these mics, obviously, and just literally go down to one mic, or you can actually just completely turn these off. This is also nice, the fact that you can just drag that up and down and go between like a really small 8-inch speaker. This plugin is actually for bass as well, so actually at some point, probably not on today's video, but maybe on a future live, what I'll do is I'll use this on bass as well, because I can imagine when we get up to that 15 and 18, ooh, it goes all the way up to 24, 15 and 18, that would be monstrous. I've never tried a real life 21 or 24 inch speaker, so I'll be interested to try that with a bass, but for now we're gonna stick with the 4x12. So this plugin also has like a room simulator, so if we make it dry and it's totally off, you know, it's just completely like in an airtight room. But you can hear there, I mean, that's probably way more than what we like, but the fact that you can introduce a little bit of ambience and actually sort of pan that around and stuff, that's pretty cool. So just a little bit like that. There, that sounds more like it's actually being mic'd up in a nice wooden room or something. Maybe like that. And then you put your delay on top of that, you know, that should start to sound really, really cool. And then we have some EQ as well, which is also cool. I mean, I you know, use my favorite EQs after the amp and speaker stage, but the fact that we have pretty, you know, flexible, we've got low, high, some mid-range as well. You can change the frequency. That's cool, you know, it's a nice thing to have in there. And also we can show and hide some of the additional functionality here with like inputs and outputs, you know, and you know, the headroom and final high pass filtering and stuff like that. Even the phase inverse, that is useful as well, in case you're sort of using this in a recorded situation and you're stacking guitars on top of each other and one of the amps is out of phase. That will cost you so much time in a mix situation. So that's really cool as well. It has a lot of speakers. Now these are like meticulously modeled speakers. When you go through them, I think I've got a new favorite. I thought it was the vintage 30 that was my favorite, but now I'm liking that classic lead and this one here, the 65. Once you've chosen a speaker, you have all those options, mic placement, mics and all that stuff. So just because you're selecting a speaker, the fact that it's sounding a bit jarring when you're jumping between them, well, the cool thing is like we can go to that speaker here. All right, that sounded cool, but we might want to find a sort of sweet spot on the cab, and that is sick. I love that. That's really cool. That's actually sounding really tight, and I like that. Yeah, that's cool. Let's just have a look through those presets. preset collection. Look at that. I like that. We can go over the title view, make them bigger. That's good. Info on and off. Okay, sick. That's a nice addition. It's going that extra mile. And speaking of going that extra mile, on the next School of McRock lesson, if you're unsure on how to dial in a fantastic tone, whether that's software or using hardware or pedals, whatever it might be, then you want to check this lesson out. We break down everything in my signal chain and everything that might be in your signal chain, from wah-wahs to octavers to overdrive pedals, speaker sims, amps, all of the modulation effects, post effects like reverb and delay, and so much more. So if you have a ton of plugins, piles of pedals, and all the amps in the world, but your tone's still not absolutely blazing, then you're definitely going to want to check out the next School of McRock lesson. Head over to schoolofmcrock.com and take your free trial today. Let's get back to the video. So for this sound, I've actually just tweaked a preset that I really liked, and it's based on a 212. Let's see how it sounds with it open back. That was a nice little boost of bass there. Like are great substitutes for diving on very complex EQs like parametric EQs and dynamic EQs, because a lot of the time I would get an IR that's very similar or close to these type of sounds, or as close as it can be, but then I'd jump for EQs and I'd start curving out sounds, and it just adds so much more time to the whole process. So the fact that we can jump through all these mics and then start moving the position and stuff, I really like that. It's very well, I can see it as a big time saver, really. That's super cool. I'm still discovering new things with this plugin. I'm going to change over to the Victory Sheriff. I call it the Little Sheriff, but it's like a lunchbox style head. I'm going to go down to one mic here. Nice. Let's just stick with the standard 57. And again, if we turn this off, it's like nasty, right? So I want a nice new cab. I'm going to turn that on. Oh, that makes a big difference. So we might want like a 57, really close and quite bright, and then we put like a condenser mic on it, but we could use that one in a different spot, but also can we make that one a bit further away? Let's try a 24-inch speaker. I like that one. That is a keeper. There we go, the speaker shaper brought to you by Celestion and Softtube. I'm still finding my way around the plugin a little bit, but everything that I discover I'm really digging, and I think it's really cool. So this one will be certainly staying on the chain for some time to come. So if you want to hear this plugin live, then join me on the next live stream where we'll be blazing through, no doubt, plenty of ridiculous combinations suggested by you guys. I'm sure we're going to have lots of dual huge cabs and all that stuff. Yeah, we'll run it live on the next Shred Club. If you have any questions about this plugin, drop a comment down below. Or if you want to ask me directly, then join us over on the Discord. I'm on the Discord all the time. I'm always on the Discord. I'll leave the link down for that below, and I'll leave the link for the plugin as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. For now, you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, cheers guys, bye for now.